Hey, welcome to today's video. Today I want to look at two precious metal miners, and that's because I do believe that inflation is going to be playing a bigger role over the next year for a couple of reasons. And because of that, I wanted to show you these two top precious metal miners. It's first Majestic Silver and Barrick Gold. So first, let me talk about a little bit why I think inflation is going to happen over the next year and possibly over the longer term. One is we did have the $1.9 trillion stimulus, which is actually really good for a lot of people who needed that money in order to survive. However, that's going to lead to a lot more money printing, and money printing can lead to inflation. Now, one of the ways that the Biden administration wanted to sort of deal with inflation is to raise taxes. Now, the problem is, the Democrats just have a very thin majority in the Senate. They have a 50-50 vote in the Senate with the vice president handling the tiebreaker. However, there are two sort of conservative Democratic senators, Manchin and Sinema, who probably will not be on board for the tax raise. So because of that, the tax raise is probably going to die. And when the tax bill does die in the Senate, I think that's going to lead to a spike in gold and silver and a spike in gold and silver miners. And the thing about gold and silver miners is that they tend to be a leverage play on the precious metals. So you get, for instance, for every 1% that silver goes up, First Majestic will usually go up about 2%. So you look at First Majestic Silver, it did really well yesterday. It was up almost 3%, up to $17.29. The 52-week high on silver is about $24.01. You see it had some spikes over here, had a big pop over here before we had the correction. It's begun to move back up. I do think that both the gold and the silver miners will be really strong during the summer, and also at the point when the tax raise bill dies in the Senate, where I think is going to die in the Senate. So that's why I think if you have a portfolio that's filled with a lot of small cap stocks, I definitely think putting some money into a miner is a good idea. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Barrick Gold. Barrick Gold also did well yesterday. It was up a little over 2%, up to $20.77. The 52-week high on Barrick Gold is 31.22. You look over the past year, it did have a big rise over the summer of 2020 during the middle of the pandemic. Gold tends to do really well during times of uncertainty. Of course, it did, when the vaccines started to come out, there was a little fear taken out of the market. So when there's no fear, gold tends to go down. However, I do think with the specter of inflation, the rising interest rates, the rising 10-year note, that's going to give some lift to Barrick Gold. So Barrick Gold could do well, and actually Barrick Gold is a little better if you can't handle the volatility of a silver miner. So you look at, let's go ahead and take a look at First Majestic Silver, and you can see they have a lot of big mines: San Dimas, Santa Lima, and La Encanada. These are their three biggest mines. They have probably one of the biggest production numbers when it comes to just getting silver out of the ground. Their mining operations are in Mexico, Nevada, and Peru. Pretty stable areas, so you don't have to worry about instability here. As you can see here, San Dimas is 100% owned by the company. You take a look at the Santa Elena mine over here, and this one is also 100% owned by the company. And you see they have, over 102,000 hectares. That's a pretty big area. And like I said, when you want to get into a silver miner, you want to get into a company that has sort of one of the company that's the largest, and they're actually a real miner. You have two types of miners. You have regular miners, and then you have what's called junior miners. And junior miners they either control some land or they have interest in some land, but they haven't gotten any of their commodity out of the ground. So you want to stay away really from junior silver miners. People like junior silver miners because they can go up really dramatically, kind of like penny stocks. However, these are not proven miners. First Majestic is a proven miner. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Barrick Gold. Barrick Gold, one of the biggest gold producers in the world. They said here Barrick has met production targets for 2020. Which is really good. They have a lot of operations here. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like over a dozen projects here. They have some based in Nevada and some based overseas, so that's really good. They're really well diversified out. And again, when you want to find a miner, just go with the biggest miners. I know you could be very sort of seduced by the junior gold miners because they can potentially give you a big rate of return, but you want to go with a company a miner that is going to give that has proven resources and proven productivity. That's why I would prefer Barrick Gold over the junior gold miners. So which one should you take? Well, it really depends on your risk level. If you have a higher risk tolerance, then you want to go with First Majestic. If you have lower risk tolerance, you want to go with Barrick Gold. Um, but maybe it's a good idea to own both of them. I own both of them just because sometimes gold sometimes in rare cases can outperform silver, but usually silver will outperform gold. But I just wanted to point out both of these miners because I do think that inflation is going to become an issue over the next year, and you want to make sure that your portfolio is able to profit from the oncoming inflation run. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. I do daily updates on stocks, stock trading strategies, and market updates. Thanks a lot.